All right, good morning, Physical Science. Today is Thursday, and I'm recording um, the bell ringer and instructions for what you're going to do today. So, we're going to go through the bell ringer. You have two videos, alpha decay and beta decay. Um, you need to look at those before we get into, before you start your practicing balancing nuclear reactions. Um, I'm going to go through some of those after the bell ringer, but you still need to do the videos before. And if you haven't watched the videos from earlier this week, you need to do that once you finish today's assignment. To be counted present, you must complete today's assignments. So it's not just the bell ringer, it's everything. So let's start with the bell ringer. All right, so um, if I go into student view so I can type, it says, what makes a nucleus radioactive? That means unstable. And that is when, if you remember in our notes, um, the number of neutrons and protons are not the same. If number of neutrons equals number of protons, you have a stable nucleus and it is not radioactive. Define nuclear decay and what does it give off? All right, so from our lesson yesterday, nuclear decay is just, and I'm doing this from memory, so it is going to be when the um, strong force can no longer hold the nucleus together and particles are emitted. And remember, particles is energy and the alpha, beta, gamma particles. Summarize a fission reaction in words. So a fission reaction, fission is breaking apart. So nuclear fission is when a neutron is used to break apart a large atom. And it creating a huge amount of energy in the process. And this is what we do in our nuclear reactors for energy, for power plants. And then fusion. Nuclear fusion is when two or more smaller atoms fuse or join to make a larger atom, and it requires a large amount of energy for this to happen. All right, so that's the bell ringer. So remember, these gives you extra credit points, so you can submit that assignment. You can pause the video to get the answers if you need to. All right, so if we go back to modules, you will see that you have two videos, alpha and beta decay. You're going to need access to your periodic table. So if you go back into week 7, there is a link for a periodic table, and it will give you this periodic table right here that we had used in class. So I'm going to switch back and forth between this as I work on this. All right, so when you watch the two videos, the alpha decay and the beta decay, You're going to then go to balancing nuclear reactions and look at the directions. You're doing the even numbers on page 1 and the odd on page 2 and the very last question. And the very last problem happens to be odd. So if you just do all the odd on page 2. So you're going to do the even. You're going to do 2, 4, 6, 8. Then you're going to do, and I left this up here, the odd. So you're going to do 1, 3, and 5. You're skipping 6, and you're going to do 7. And I'll get you started on 7 as I go through the lesson here. So I want to do a couple of the even ones up here, or the odd ones, sorry, as examples. So what you need to remember, and this becomes obvious when you watch the video, is that for an alpha particle from our notes, remember that an alpha particle is 2 protons and 2 neutrons that you're losing. Okay, so you're going to subtract. All right, so what you're going to do is that can be what we call a helium atom. So you would come and you would see that number 1, it says alpha decay. So I'm going to start with a helium. So I'm going to put the symbol for helium. I am going to put 4 up here for the atomic mass because helium has an atomic mass of 4. 2 protons and 2 neutrons. Its atomic number is 2, so I put that here. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a plus, and you're going to subtract. So 231 take away 4 is going to be 227. So you're going to put 227 up here. 91 take away 2 is going to be 89. All right, I'm going to take that 89 and I'm going to go to my periodic table, and I see that my number 89 is down here is AC, actium. So I'm going to go back here and I'm going to put AC. All right, so that is alpha particle. You lose 2 protons and 2 neutrons. It means you're subtracting. Now, number 7, beta. Remember that a beta particle is a neutron that changes into a proton. So you're going to add 1 proton, and it's going to emit an electron. So basically the mass stays the same, and you're going to add 1 to the atomic number. So a beta particle, we can write it 2 different ways. Usually you will see it with an E and a 0 and a -1. Now, don't let the -1 confuse you here, because we're not going to subtract 1. We're actually adding 1. So when I do my plus here, I'm going to have 86. My mass stays the same because neutrons and protons have the same mass, so I keep 198. I'm going to go and find 86 on the periodic table. So I'm going to find 86, and it is radon, Rn. So I'm going to put Rn. So anytime you have beta, you're going to keep the same mass, add 1 to the atomic number. All right, so you're going to do the even numbers in this section. Now, in part 2 here, you are just looking at it and filling in what is missing. So in here, they may have given you the helium, they may have given you what it turns into, and you have to determine what goes in the blank. So you have to apply what we did above. 2 and 4 were just extremely hard, and we didn't talk about those, so we skipped them. You're going to skip 6 because you're doing the odd. Now 7. I'm going to get you started, and then you're going to have to finish it. Thorium-232 undergoes radioactive decay until stable isotope is reached. Complete the decay series of thorium-232. Beginning with alpha decay, the product of each step is the reactant for the next. All right, so we're going to start with thorium. So I'm going to find thorium on the periodic table. Thorium is number 90. It is capital TH. So I am going to 90 goes here, 232 goes here, TH. It's going to do an alpha decay. So alpha decay means the helium. So I'm going to have 4, 2 with the helium. Remember, this is when I subtract. So 90 take away 2 is 88. And 232 subtract 4 would be 228. So I'm going to go back to my periodic table. I'm going to look for 88. 88 is radium, Ra. So I'll put Ra here. Then it says the product of each step is the reactant for the next. So this is the product here, right here. So I'm going to take that, and it's going to be the beginning of my next step. So I'm going to do 228, 88, Ra with my arrow. Notice this is beta. So I'm going to do my E0 minus 1. Remember, my mass stays the same. I add 1 to the bottom, so that's 89. I'm going to go back to my periodic table and find 89, which is actinium, AC. And I'm going to put AC. All right. So then I take this part and I bring it down to 2889 AC. Notice it's beta again. So 0 minus 1 E. 228 stays the same. Add 1, so I'm back to 90. So I'm back to thorium. But thorium has a different mass number this time. So I'm going to take this and start with the next. I'll do one more so that you have the alpha again. See an example. So 2, 2, 8, 90. That's thorium. And we're going to do the alpha decay. And plus, so we're going to subtract this time. So it'd be 2, 2, 4. Subtract 2, we're back to 88. And I can look up at the beginning and see 88 is radon or radium there. All right, so then you're going to finish this. So I did the first 4, and so you have 4, 5, 6, 7 more to go until you get to the end. If you want to do this on paper, and when you're finished doing it on paper, you can go to I don't think AdMedia has a way to access your camera, but you can take a picture of your work and save it into your Chromebook, and then you can go to Add Media here, And if you go to your Google Drive, you can find that screenshot and you can post your screenshot, because this may be better to do on paper than trying to type in all these different numbers. So you can do it on paper and then take a picture of it. Or if you will remember, you can bring me the paper Monday when you come to school. Um, but you've got to bring me the paper to get credit. And so you can submit it blank and then bring me the paper, or use the camera, take a picture of it, and you can then um, input it here through Add Media. So that is today's lesson. Just real quick, tomorrow, just let me go through tomorrow. I will not have a recording for tomorrow. You have a bell ringer, and you have 2 videos to do. And then anything that you haven't finished, you need to finish up on Friday. Remember, to get counted present, you have to complete everything. You have to complete everything. If you have questions, send me an email. We're working from home, so send me an email, or we can do a one-on-one Google Meet if we need to.